Chapter 12 Sickness. That's actually something I've been really curious about. Wow, 30 days later? Holy crap, that's a full month nearly. But that's something I've been really curious about because I sort of teased it at the beginning, with every time sort of Suoh got these killer impulses. You saw like those thorny vines come into the screen, which really sort of hinted that something in his mind was pushing him towards doing these sorts of things, or not really pushing him, but just like nudging him a little bit. And we've never really fully explored that part of it yet, where I felt like he might have. I think at the very early point I said he had like schizophrenia or something, but something along those lines, like just some sort of mental sickness or something that's actually causing him to be the way that he is. So I'm hoping to explore a bit more of that aspect of Suoh as well, but yeah, let's continue. Sunday night, November 6th. It's been 6 weeks now since I became a professional killer. 6 weeks of late night training sessions, early morning rendezvous, and excessive paychecks. Yeah, that's the best part. 6 weeks of working directly under a crime lord, and earning a living bringing death to those who are more valuable dead than alive. In those 6 weeks, I've killed a total of 9 people, 1 person each week for the first 3 weeks, 2 people each week for the next 3 weeks after that. I've improved considerably in every aspect, be it in terms of knowledge, financials, physical strength, and stamina, or skill. Equally as important, I've been getting along well with those closest to me, not allowing my new lifestyle to destroy my personal relationships. Sara and I have been on predominantly good terms, minus the occasional fight, and I haven't had a single negative experience with Misa. For all intents and purposes, I've been living a rich, rewarding, fulfilling life. Wow, it seems like he's actually, because during some of the earlier chapters, he seemed like he was kind of struggling a little bit between finding the right balance of not neglecting Sara over work and not prioritizing other things too much. And like he seems to have found the perfect balance right now, which is good, obviously, because you don't want to jeopardize your relationship with your sister over work as well, because that's the sole purpose why it's actually working like this, right? But I'm wondering one thing: did they ever get the house that's their old house back, which Karasu promised Suoh? He must have, right? Or so I would like to think. The truth is, my relationship with Sara hasn't been as carefree as I'd hoped. I should have stopped talking, or at least, waited for them to say more. Since the talk we had one Friday night a month ago, Sara has been acting even more strangely than usual. For the next few days, she should stand in front of the wardrobe for an hour, grabbing at the pants to wear as she slept, not even actually putting them on. She also refrained from clinging to me as she usually would, falling victim to habit only after she fell asleep. Going forward, she'd forget to pick her clothes up off the floor and occasionally walk into the bathroom while I was bathing. Very forgetful, scatterbrained mistakes which my prim and proper sister should not be making. Whenever I called her out on her odd behavior, however, Sara would deny that any change had occurred, defending herself with a flushed face and near mechanical movements. Oh my god. If Sara wasn't the sister, you would kind of say like, yeah, this is obvious that, this sudden change in behavior and just how she's acting, you would almost think that, that's really the actions of a person who is in love, but Sara's our sister. That can't be happening, right? I mean, they've teased at it sort of a couple of times throughout the visual novel so far, but oh my god. Sara really worries me sometimes. I never do know what's going on inside that head of hers. Even after a month of trying to figure out what's been wrong with her, I haven't made any progress at all. Unfortunately, by this point, I no longer have the leisure to worry about that. As important as my sister's mental health is to me, there's one aspect of my life demanding my attention far more urgently. My sickness. Unsure of what else to call it, I labeled the voice in my head, the pain and adrenaline surging throughout my body, the rush which spurred me to kill. my sickness. It began after I woke up in the hospital with a head wound over 3 months ago. I was groggy, in pain, and couldn't think clearly. I heard countless voices, which I presumed to be from other patients, whispering to me at all hours of the night. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. I just endured, thinking it was a side effect of the medication I had been given. But once I left the hospital and started working for Mr. Mudo, I learned the truth. I realized that the pain and haziness was never from the medication or from my stay in the hospital. It came from within me. When I killed Mr. Mudo, when I attacked those 2 adolescents, whenever I felt a sudden urge of malice or surge, I knew my sickness was to blame. It began to come and go, occasionally speaking to me, directing me towards the right path. My sickness worked for my sake, even if it didn't seem like it at the time, and tried to do what was best for me. Or so I thought. For the past week, I've been in constant agony, varying only in the level of discomfort. It took its toll on me, both during and outside of work, but I figured it was something I could grit my teeth and bear. Then yesterday evening, after my sister fell asleep, I woke up in tremendous pain, clutching my stomach as though I had been stabbed. I ran to the bathroom and puked until every morsel of food in my stomach was sitting in front of me, taking with it a fraction of the pain I felt. For hours I was in agony, unable to sleep or rest, completely at the mercy of my own body. I've put this off for too long already. I can't keep prioritizing work and Sara. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to see a doctor, no matter what. After our increasingly dismal party gathered, my coworkers waited patiently in relative silence. For 20 minutes, we sat, unmoving, waiting for our missing comrades to arrive, hoping that they were merely running late. But as his patience wore thin, Sai finally spoke up, convinced that Vincent and Violet would not show up again. I mean, 6 weeks has passed as he mentioned, but that meeting before those 6 weeks, they didn't show up either. So I don't know whether they showed up during the 6 weeks, and now it's like conveniently the 2 times that we're actually, cutting into and actually seeing what's happening. Both those times they aren't there, and throughout the 6 weeks, which they just fast forwarded, they were all there, but yeah, could be. Still no word from the other 2. Everyone present shook their heads. Damn. Like we didn't have enough to do already. After the last disappearance of Violet and Vincent, the 2 showed up once more, apologizing for the delay and blaming their targets. I don't know, I feel like we can't trust them. For the next few weeks, they were both behaving like normal, attending meetings and getting their work done, showing no sign of anything being amiss. 2 nights ago, however, the duo once again failed to show, making us wonder if they would repeat their previous return or instead never show their faces again. Leon, you go track them down. Kane, I want you to confirm their kills. Low priority or not, their marks need to be taken care of. Yes, sir. As for you 2, you're going to help me pick up the slack. Carasso accepted this week's work on the basis that he had 7 killers at his disposal, with 2 missing and the other 2 covering for them. That just leaves the 3 of us. More work than usual, huh? Sai won't hear any complaints from me. It'll certainly help my pad my paycheck, and the adrenaline should ease my pain for a while. We have 11 targets this week, not including the ghosts Kane and Leon may be chasing. I'll take 8 of them myself. You 2 decide on how you want to handle the others. Wow. Sai's just like bam bam bam, I'll take 8 of them out, that's no problem. Sai scattered 11 profiles on the table, all paired with photos and the details necessary. Take your pick. I actually get a choice this time? This might be even more fun than I thought. Now then, let's take a look at... Alright then, I'll take the others. Did Misa just pick for us? Wait a second. What are you... While I was looking at the scattered profiles, Misa handed Sai her choices, deciding for both of us who we should be targeting. Figures. I come all this way, no meeting takes place, and Misa chooses our targets for us? Seriously, what was the point of me even coming here? Okay, that should be it for tonight. Let's go, Misa. She pouts. Oh, right. Here, this is yours. At Misa's prompt, Sai handed me an odd electronic device of some sort. What? What's this? It's a phone of sorts. I was thinking that it looks like a phone, but it's like a phone. Like it shows all those things on it, right? Like you see sort of, I guess, a media player on the left, on like the side of it. In the middle it says locked, and at the top right you see like a camera, the battery, a red dot is on. Like it looks like a phone, but it also kind of looks like a phone book or like a book, you know, making me think like, what the hell was this? The audio and text messaging software installed on there already contains the details of everyone on the team, as well as Karasu and even a few other associates of ours whom you haven't met yet. You can now get into contact with anyone on the team, and don't hesitate to talk about work matters. All communications are encrypted with preloaded keys, unique to each pairing. Sounds like a pretty sophisticated phone. Not particularly. It's just a bit more security focused than normal mobile phones. First of all, you can only use it to communicate with or receive communications from other people using the same device. Also, these devices utilize a mesh network available only within Richmond, so they're useless once you leave the city. I see. Put it simply, it's very private, restricted, and won't work outside of the city. So if you want to go around giving girls your numbers, you're out of luck. Seriously, what kind of person does I think I am? Yeah, I only need to give my number to, damn it, doesn't work to my sister, so I guess only Misa, right? Misa pulled her own phone out, proudly displaying it an inch away from my face. So you've got one too, Misa? That'll make working together easier. Okay. She hasn't been talking at all, right? The way that she's been communicating with us is like either gestures or just like, you know, physical conversation almost, you know. She's like nodding, waving her hands, you know. What is it actually called? That's not physical conversation, but you know, just body language, I guess, sort of, almost a bit more extreme, because body language is usually like, you're slumped over, therefore you look a little bit sad or defeated, or you know, things like that. That's kind of like body language, right? I guess, I don't know, it's more like sign language, I guess, if you're doing stuff with your hands. I don't know, but you know, she's been finding other means to kind of let us know or communicate with us without actually saying words. But on the phone, you actually have to talk or text, depending whether she calls or texts us. So this is like the moment of truth to find out what Misa is capable of, if she can actually talk or not. Misa may not be one for conversation, but even she will respond to a text message, right? Don't get any ideas about sending my daughter inappropriate text messages or photos. Well, there goes my plan of impressing Misa with my dick pic. What am I gonna do now? I wouldn't do that. Sure you wouldn't. Anyway, it's time to go. You two can arrange your work for the week tomorrow morning. Bye-bye, Misa. She's so cute. And so begins another week. The following next day, meeting with Misa. Monday morning, November the 7th. Misa and I met up in the usual park, and I prepared myself for a day of procrastination at Misa's whim. As usual, Misa seemed to have a number of destinations in mind, all of which she conveyed without uttering a single word. How does she do it? Unlike the mornings of our other dates, however, this time I had a destination of my own in mind. With the pain in my stomach at an all-time high, and my sickness proving to be beyond my control, Misa's plans were set aside. I had expected some form of protest from Misa, given how she reacted previously at the mention of work before play, but this time around, I received no such resistance. Seeing for herself just how much pain I was in, despite my attempts to hide it, Misa took hold of my hand and led me down the street, presumably with a single destination in mind. Misa and I briefly walked through the city, quickly reaching a street that I had been through many times before. Rather than enter any of the buildings, however, Misa led me into an alleyway, wherein she removed from her jumper a set of keys. Without further ado, Misa unlocked the door before us, granting direct access to a wondrous place of healing. Oh. What the What is this? What's going on over there? Oh my god, don't look, Misa. Don't even look anyone else. Why does the old man have a heart above his head? Is he enjoying that? Oh my god. He's having fun, like, oh yes. Oh god, I shouldn't say anything else. Oh my god. All good so far. Nothing abnormal. No blockages. Oh my god, he's definitely here for a colonoscopy. Still nothing. No signs of any blood or tearing. The second we walked through the door, Misa and I were confronted with a scene I'd hoped never to see. Bent over the operating table in front of us was an elderly man, and behind him was... Are you sure it was blood you saw on your stool? Yes, I'm sure. I kept my hands over Misa's eyes, instinctively shielding her from the disturbing scene in front of us. I don't care how many people Misa had killed, no amount of bloodshed prepares a person for a sight like this. Well then, I guess I'll just have to keep on... Despite our silence, Misa and I eventually attracted the attention of the doctor before us. He stared at us blankly, as confused by our presence as I was by the location of his finger. While I kept my hand over Misa's eyes, the doctor took a better look at her, soon gasping in realization. Could you wait outside one moment? Us or the elderly man? Now then, what the hell are you doing here? How many times have I told you to knock? You know it drives me crazy when you people suddenly appear out of thin air, completely unannounced. Shortly after directing us back into the alley, the doctor followed suit, closing the door behind him and telling the nurse to delay his next appointment. Oh, and you've brought a new face with you, huh? But if you are here, then this must be another one of Karasu's pets. Shit, I asked the man for help once, and I'm his bitch for life. Just wonderful. So, what can I do for you kids, huh? Looking to score some narcotics for your idiot friends? Well, at least he cut straight to the point. I get that he's mad about being walked in on, and apparently being at Karasu's beck and call, but would it kill him to just tone it down a little bit? I've been having stomach pains for a few weeks now. I was hoping you could help me out. You came to a doctor because you were feeling sick? Of course! Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, I mean, nobody even does that anymore, right? What a surprise. It's like a burning sensation that's getting worse over time. Throwing up dulls the pain, and adrenaline wards it off, but nothing seems to get rid of it permanently. Have you had any diarrhea or blood in your stool? Is that like the first question he asked everyone? Oh my god, like the old man had it as well? Not until this week, but... both actually. Are you throwing up intentionally, or as a result of the discomfort? Both. Dehydrated? I guess? Did you consume anything sketchy shortly before the symptoms began? Like any undercooked chicken? That's a tough one. I was eating properly before I entered the hospital, and they wouldn't serve me anything sketchy or undercooked. For 2 weeks after that, however, I ate whatever rubbish Sara and I could throw together. even if it was mostly instant, chances are I consumed something I shouldn't have. But didn't he say that it happened while he was in the hospital? Therefore, it couldn't be caused by something he ate after he left the hospital, right? I don't think so. But I was... Yeah, whatever. You have gastroenteritis. Gastroenteritis? God damn it. Do I have to do this again? Alright, Emma, lay it on me.
Gastroenteritis.
Gastroenteritis. I got this. Alright. You have gastroenteritis. A severe bacterial case. You seem fine overall. Just so keep your fluids up and take it easy. Huh. That's it? So, keep hydrated and I'll be fine? Don't you need to run some tests or... Who's the doctor here, huh? If you don't like my diagnosis, then get a second opinion somewhere else. Aww. At the height of the doctor's rage, I felt a weak tug on my sleeve. Misa wore a complicated expression on her face. I couldn't tell if she was still worried about me or just wanted to get away from the doctor as soon as possible. Fine. Thanks for your help. Whatever, just get out of here. Well, that was a waste of time. Perhaps I should have opened by telling the doctor that I've been hearing voices inside of my head. I don't know anything about gastroenteritis whatever, but I'm betting it doesn't explain that particular symptom. Not at all. Like you should definitely mention that. That's the thing about going to the doctor, right? Because sometimes you're afraid of what the answer might be because it could be a horrible disease or whatever. So therefore you're like trying to undermine some of the symptoms sometimes, and then the doctor just says, "Oh, it's nothing worse at all," and then you're like, "Wait, but I actually didn't explain it properly or that fully yet. Therefore, oh my god!" And then you're kind of scared to speak up about it and just like, "Oh, yeah, okay, thanks. I'll be coming back again within 2 weeks when it hasn't even disappeared yet." Yeah, I really don't like going to the doctors. Alone together again, Misa looked at me with obvious concern. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. If I can survive training with you, there's no way a little gastro or something can hurt me. No good, huh? Misa must be as good at reading minds as Sara. Either that, or the pain I'm feeling is way too easy to see. Look, I'll go visit another doctor later, okay? I'll get a second opinion somewhere else and make sure to receive a proper diagnosis. That's better. A joyful smile definitely suits Misa better than the worried expression she was wearing a moment ago. But if I want to keep her smiling, and Sara too, I need to make good on my promise. I need to see a doctor, discover what's wrong with me, and find out if there's a cure. With my primary concern for the day pushed aside, Misa and I headed back to my house. Heeding the doctor's first piece of advice, I downed an unhealthy amount of water from the tap, hydrating myself to the point where I knew my bladder would seek vengeance later on. As for his suggestion that I take it easy, however, with 3 targets for the week, I couldn't afford to listen to his second piece of advice, nor could I entertain Misa's tendency towards procrastination. Instead, I grabbed the profiles Sai gave me on Saturday night and scattered them on the living room table, right in front of my seated companion. First up is a local troublemaker, Kunal. He resides barely 3 blocks from here. He'd been stealing from one of Karasu's front companies and causing the employees grief, finally crossing the line when he shot the owner and made off with Karasu's money. There's a note from Karasu saying to make the kill obvious and brutal so as to send a message to other potential thieves among his ranks. Yikes. The other 2 appear to be a pair of lovers, Camelia Mendez and Mark Crane, his wife and best friend of a man currently undergoing divorce proceedings. He paid good money to see them not only killed, but savagely brutalized before death. Dang, that's some good targets. What's with the sudden emphasis on being brutal? Is it really that important to send a message? Or to get revenge? Karasu's makes sense, in a way, but I would have thought that at least the ex-husband would want the murders to look like an accident. Not that I should complain. Misa's choices work out surprisingly well for me. The lovers will likely be together, and Kunal lives fairly close to here. Did Misa choose these 3 targets knowing that so as to maximize our free time? Or was it a coincidence? No, Misa planned this. Either way, it looks like I might have an easy week after all. So, how do you want to divide up the work? Misa? While I was reading through our targets' profiles, Misa somehow managed to sneak away. She was here just a second ago. Where did she run off to? Nope, it wasn't the call of nature that dragged Misa away. Nor was it the appeal of raiding my fridge. I would have heard Misa leave, so she couldn't have escaped, at least not out of the front door. Unless she's hiding in plain sight, the only other likely hiding spot would be my bedroom. But Misa wouldn't go rummaging through my stuff, would she? Of course, even if she did, I didn't really have anything worth hiding. At worst, she'd figure out that Sara and I share a bed. I don't have anything worth stealing either. The most valuable possession I own is the phone that Sai gave me. That's kinda sad. The most valuable thing I own was given to me just yesterday. Wherever she is, Misa can't hide from me in a place of this size. Misa, are you in here? What is she doing? What the hell? Misa, what are you doing with my sister's clothes? Oh my god, I was thinking like, isn't that Sarah's dress? Oh my god. Caught red-handed, Misa must have been pretty distracted for me to sneak up on her like this. Really though, just what is she thinking? So, you wanted to try on my sister's clothes? You know, Misa, those straps are supposed to go on your shoulder, not like almost hanging off of your shoulder. Not that I mind, of course. I suppose wanting to try on clothes is indeed considered feminine, but clothes that belong to someone else? Is that normal for girls? Or is Misa just odd? Well, whatever makes you happy. Was that the wrong answer? No, wait. I recognize this glare. Misa wants to know how it looks on her, or rather, she wants me to compliment her. But she really should have picked something smaller. Sarah's definitely taller and better endowed than Misa. Oh, poor Misa. Sorry, Misa, but no matter how many times you shift that dress around, it isn't going to fit you. Should I just tell her? Oh my god, be blunt. Offer to buy one in her size, tease her. Oh my god. Be blunt, she's not gonna be happy about that. So, offer to buy one in her size or tease her. This cost me money though. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but she's not really I mean, there's nothing going on between those two yet, you know? It's just sort of been playful between them, but not anything serious or official or anything along those lines, you know? So this would be kind of a thing that you wouldn't necessarily do for every single friend, only for someone you would consider a special friend, right? Then again, teaser might lead to different things, which wouldn't necessarily be bad, of course, so we're gonna tease her. I can see your bra. Really? I didn't think you were the kind of girl to flaunt her body like that. Could it be that you're an exhibitionist? Well, I suppose if that's what gets you off. Teasing a professional killer might not be the smartest thing I've ever done, but Misa's reactions are just perfect. Okay, I get it. I was just joking. Sorry, but it really is too big for you. She really likes that outfit, huh? If she's that fond of the dress, I suppose we could go look for one in her size. I mean, she's really fond of it, so might as well, right? I'm such a softie. You know what? Let's put off scouting out the targets until tomorrow. For today, we're going to the mall and getting a dress in your size. She's so... After you change back.